Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome back to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSperts. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christensen, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Molitor, and your surprise guest on the deep dive, Mr. Link Calhoun, or Cal as we generally call him, was pretty close. Cam Smith almost won. He was the number 2 finisher, and I believe Cal did at least give out some Scheffler. If not, I'm sure he's talked about it. A bunch of people have. Congrats to everybody. Scottie with the easy win.
Yeah, Scotty has had a very unique 60 some days. I don't know. It was like last year, it was, prove it to me. He can't quite get it done. Felt like a breakthrough season that he won he won the fun tournament. He won easy one. So I don't know. Maybe some people were like, oh, let's see you do it again. So he does, wins it, wins another tournament. Well, let's change the rules. Let's see if he can win it at a whole different style of golf. And of course, he does again. And then, maybe the naysayers said, do it against a major field at a tough course. And he ripped it a new one. So, Christ on a bicycle, this guy is, I mean, just fame, fortune, and golf success aside, there's some big prizes. Like the match play was a big purse, obviously the major purse, the API. I mean, he made some fucking bank in 2 months here, and congrats to him. And yeah, Cal obviously didn't bet that the prices we had, but a lot of people did have some Scheffler earlier prices as we see that a lot where people take the Masters and other majors prices months in advance. So there were some big prices on Scotty out there from some people that were,
Well, some
I mean, the,
30s
the
and
true
40s.
the true believers who took it way ahead of time. So yeah, kind of an ugly Sunday from Cam. Wild Rory. I mean, Rory just needed 4 rounds like that, and he'd have won by 22. He'd have been up by a million. So wouldn't even have worried about it. That has to drive him nuts, knowing he had a round like that in him and letting Thursday and Friday kind of drag his ass down. Because I mean, he was under par Saturday. I think just shot a maybe just one under, but knowing he had a round like that, and yeah, that's the thing. He just add Rory. I had a Rory ticket. I found the best price. Add that to my long list of guys who got second in a major. I think just it's him and all my Usti tickets from last
You're the
season.
Jack Nichols
Honestly,
of outrights.
yeah, I'm just I guess yeah, take my each ways, because yeah, Zalatoris too. He would have finished within most each ways. So yeah, Rory playing lights out on Sunday with less than a 0.5% chance of win equity. Honestly,
I'll have to go back and look. I wonder if Rory did have, if he took everyone's best 3 rounds, if Rory would still win. I bet he probably would. That was pretty spectacular. But I wonder if you go back and take Scheffler's best 3, or maybe even Cam's best 3, how close that would be. But
yeah, if you throw at Cam Sunday, yeah, there's
it
some
was a
nice,
wild
nice.
Sunday for top 5s and top 10s.
Yeah, a lot of money got moved around in that. I didn't have a great tournament. Outrights obviously didn't hit. Matchups did okay. Sung JM top Asian was good. I didn't play Gooch top debutante. I would like Gooch and one other guy. Ended up couldn't find the Gooch price I wanted. Left it off. He was top debutante. So I'm feeling like Rory, like I left something out there. But on to RBC. I'll talk a little about that later. Today is exciting because we're getting into the NBA playoffs. The season is over. My tickets have cashed. I've got my Toronto tickets through. Thank you, Alex. My Bulls ticket finally gave way, even though that had cashed, a week and a half ago. Some books don't like to do it till the season's all the way over. I don't know why, but we got our NBA money. I'm going to reinvest it in the playoffs, obviously. And despite having a play-in game or two, our 4-5 and 3-6 series are set, and a couple of them are competitive, I think. One of them certainly not, and that's why I was on Bulls regular season wins and not Bulls to win at all, apparently. That was a good call not adding Bulls futures as they are beleaguered at this point.
The beleaguered Bulls is definitely a good way to do it. As someone that loves alliteration, it was a good season overall. But we're into the first round here. The play-in tournament starts tomorrow, so one of the few days a year there's no NBA basketball. But we'll take a look at some of the series prices. I haven't bet them. I'm waiting for some more derivatives and things to open up. I will say the one thing I have bet, and if you've been awake this morning and on Twitter, you already know this exists. There is a book, not necessarily our sponsor or any book we ever talk about, but they have the Bucks minus 2.5 games plus 100. They'll let you get about $97 down on that. So go ahead and hunt around and find that. That'll be a little homework for you this morning. That's a really nice bet. That's minus 50 or deeper just about everywhere else. So you look at the series, very nervous about the Raptors Sixers. I think the Sixers, this might be, Andy. We'll go back and see if I can find that Sixers win game one, Raptors win the series bet, because I think that this has the absolute stink of the Atlanta series where the Sixers come out, they have big leads in games, win the first game or two pretty convincingly, but the team with more depth, and in this case, the team with a much better coach here, Nick Nurse, is going to be able to figure this out. So again, waiting for some more derivatives to open. I wouldn't hold a Raptors bet against you, but wait, the Sixers almost certainly win game one at the Wells Fargo Center, and you're going to get a much better Raptors number there. So we'll put a pin in that one and wait. Like you said,
That was going to be my question to you, and I think you already pretty much answered it. Was I see a lot of steam behind the Raptors. People are excited to bet the Raptors, and Brett says game one series Philly Toronto on FanDuel's plus 450. It's about what you got on that one last year that actually came through. I think it was about 5-1, so maybe something like that again. But that was my question. The whole world is lining up like the Raptors are super live here, but it feels like maybe a decent spot to take them after game one. And if they lose game two, maybe even again double dip on them after game two, take a massive price on them heading home with it'll be shorthanded 76ers heading up north of the border at that point. So that's probably my plan, is to pump the brake on the Raptors now, unless you give me a fun game one series one like that for sure.
Yeah, I like that, Brett. I'll wait for a couple other places to open it, but that's a nice price. I'll definitely be giving that a sprinkle at some point. But you hit the nail on the head, Andy. It's not just how valuable the transition is, and not because Matisse Thybulle is such a great player. He's fine. It's the guys who are going to come in behind him and how poor they are. But as the series goes along, it's going to be better for the Raptors. So wait there. Again, Bucks blowout. That minus 2.5 plus 100 is great. I think all the other minus 2.5 prices I saw look just about right. Again, the Bucks should win a lot here. Maybe if you're looking for something fun, go Bucks sweep or something, or like under 4 games. Look around for that. But And then these other two series, I have to just wait for a little more information. We've got the Jazz Mavericks here. Luka Doncic did something to his calf last night. It might not be terrible. It might be terrible. It's a calf. It's not something you're really excited about. So I'll wait for some more information today to see what that looks like. If he looks okay, I think the Mavericks are kind of live in that series. If he's not 100%, I don't really know what to make of it. And then the Nuggets series, I'll probably find some way to bet the Nuggets. I'll probably have a Nuggets series bet, and then I'll look for Nuggets minus 1.5. It's one of my favorite bets on underdogs. Basically, you're betting them to win in game 6 or less, game 6 being the last game at home for the Dogs. So I'll wait again until that opens up at a few places. Nuggets probably minus 1.5 games and probably in the series. I think Jokic stands out here. The Nuggets beat the Warriors 3 times this season. With mostly full Warriors lineups, I think, except for one of the games. I think it's a bad matchup for a Golden State team that's really down. So we'll also wait for a little more information on Curry to see kind of what he looks at. But some early leans again. We'll wait on the Raptors, bet them. Look for that Bucks price again, minus 2.5 plus 100. Wait to see how Luka looks, and wait on Curry, and probably have some Nuggets tickets tomorrow.
Yeah, some injury concerns on both sides. Tomorrow, though, I will be staying up late, apparently. Stupid timing. For some reason, we're playing I get it. It's an LA team. It's the only LA team left. So maybe that's the ticket. But it starts at 8:30 local time to appease the LA locals, I guess, so they can watch their Clippers after they get off work. But kind of pisses me off because I wanted to go, but it's an hour and a half to the Target Center. So with traffic and getting out of the ramp and bullshit, I'd get home at like 2 in the. It's just not happening. Not going to this game. So I'm banking on the Timberwolves to not screw up twice in a row. Maybe not even screw up once in a row. Just get in right away. Just win tomorrow so I can go get some tickets to, what would it be? The Memphis Grizzlies, correct?
Yes.
Is that the 2 seeds?
I was trying to figure out what you were.
For some reason, the Mavericks.
Yeah, it'd be Grizzlies, Timberwolves.
Is it the color scheme? But the Mavericks and the Grizzlies just mesh in my brain. I wanted to say
the
Mavericks,
colors are similar. Yes.
Yeah, and I know that's for sure.
Got to remember Ja Morant versus Luka Doncic.
I get Ja, and I mean
Much
that'd be
different
a good one.
hairstyles.
Oh, for sure. So hopefully that goes right. I don't know if you looked at those prices yet, if you have any action on some of those play-in games yet. I don't know. I thought the Timberwolves would be a little bigger favorite at home. I didn't realize that maybe I mean, some of the scuffling down the stretch here, the last game didn't matter. And then once the Nuggets were up by 100, I'm not sure if they scoreboard watched, but the game before that really wasn't all that concerning, considering that things were already kind of set in stone for the seventh seed at that point. But two games tomorrow and then two on Wednesday, and that's the other question I have as casual Andy. That's kind of a what is the turnaround then for the second game? Are they Friday or Thursday? What is do you know what the schedule is for some of these teams that would have to play the
I
second
think
game?
it's Friday. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, Brett says T Wolves Pelicans on Friday would be fun. So I'm gonna assume he knows what he's talking about and it's Friday. Maybe not the worst turnaround. And obviously it's just like you see in some of the college basketball conference tournaments, the top seeds would get a an extra day of rest for the Friday game, plus getting to host. So tough sledding for Hornets, Hawks, Spurs, and Pellies. But if you had to pick one of those out of the four shit bottom 9 10s, like is anybody live to make it? I might just say Hawks because I
I
think
think
that's a
the
fun
Hawks, I
spot.
mean, you can see they're favored to win that first play-in game. That all comes down to what the Cavaliers look like. So, the Nets, I mean, that's just about where I had the line. I had the Nets -9, 8.5 looks fine to me. If Jared Allen, for some reason, is able to play, maybe that moves down a point or two to like 7-ish, 6.5-ish time frame. I'm sorry, kind of range. But the Nets should win that game pretty comfortably. The Clippers Timberwolves game is very tricky. The Timberwolves, kind of from overall ratings, the end of the season, I mean, just ripping off wins. But you go back and look at some of these Clippers matchups they played during the season. Now, they're a little bit older. They play all four games basically before January, but the Clippers are really successful against the Timberwolves 3-1, and basically won three games where the Timberwolves had more possessions, but the Clippers defense was really solid. And I wonder if you look at games kind of comparable, the way the Toronto Raptors are built, and the way they play defense, that's kind of a similar feel. And you go back and look, the Timberwolves got thumped by the Raptors twice this year, kind of in the last month or so. So, from a matchup perspective, I'm a little concerned, but at the same time, it's hard to figure out, is the market evaluating the Clippers correctly with Paul George? I think the Clippers are a live underdog, but the Timberwolves, again, Timberwolves Pelicans, Timberwolves Spurs. I think the Spurs are a live dog, honestly, in that game. I want to make sure that DeJounte Murray is 100% healthy. But Spurs, another team, again, you go back and look at the matchups, had a lot of success against the Pelicans and even the fully loaded Pelicans. So, still trying to get my head around a few more of these matchups. Again, a lot of the lines are pretty close to what I expected. Again, maybe a little bit of value in the under in that Hawks Hornets game, but looks like that's starting to be bet down. And then maybe a little bit of value on the Spurs, but just want to double check on Murray's health. So I think, again, we end up with the Nets and the Hawks, probably if I had to do that. And this is something you can bet on. I was looking at those prices. You can pick the
I
four
did too.
teams or whatever. So I'll probably end up with some Nets, Hawks, Timberwolves, Clippers, kind of something, or maybe Timberwolves, Pelicans, something. I don't know. I got to figure those out, but they're pretty close games, and I think the West is going to be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I was poking around at various, I mean, in some offshores too, and they had I don't know, the double and then the quad, however you want to put it. But you could place bets on who will be the two teams to come out of the East, play in the West, play in, and then you could do the four way as well, like pick all four teams right. And the chalk was only like plus 125. Just I think Nets was it Nets Hawks or Nets Cavs? I can't remember if it was Nets
I
Hawks
think
or
Nets
Nets.
Cavs is probably the chalk. Yeah.
Nets Cav, yeah, Cavs would be hosting, so probably a small favorite there. But yeah, Nets, Cavs, Clippers, Timberwolves was like plus 125. So that's no fun. I'm gonna look for something a little longer than that. Probably have a couple of fun ones there. But yes, just Timberwolves just win. Give me a playoff series. So I can go to I promised one more game. I think I'm gonna try to go, but Christ's sakes.
Not going to
9:30
try to sneak
p.m.
down there
Eastern.
tomorrow night.
Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. I got
I
a
guess you'd go
golf
on Friday,
newsletter.
worst case.
That's the thing. Like the Friday game would be kind of fun too. I wouldn't mind that. Like
Yeah,
Friday
Wolves Pelicans would
versus
be fun. Wolves Spurs, either
Pellies
one.
or Spurs coming to town. Maybe that's a fun one too. Friday would be work better because I'm not sure when the So then the would begin, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Wednesday. So you end up into like two games in Memphis. Is it 2-2-3-2, or what do we do for NBA?
2-2-1-1-1.
Oh my God, what a mess! That's so dumb. I hate it.
The
I
2-3-2 is too big of an advantage, honestly, for
it
the road team.
it is a big advantage to get three in a row. So I don't hate it, but 2-2. So you'd go like Monday, Wednesday. So maybe there'd be like a Friday game hosting Memphis for game three. That wouldn't be too bad either, Friday or Saturday. Um, we'll get there. We got a lot of bridges to burn before the Timberwolves start hosting Memphis here. So golf, I haven't bet anything yet. I have some eyes on a few guys who played pretty well at Augusta. Maybe didn't end up at the top of the leaderboard, but as you can see, the RBC Heritage, despite being in the shadow of the Great Augusta, we end up with a pretty good field here. These are big names. Like there's still some massive names that don't come here, but there are sponsors, like sponsor responsibilities. Alex, you're familiar with that with some of the tennis players who have to play at certain places no matter what. There are some guys I feel like that fall under that, but it's a nice course. It's gorgeous. Hilton Head. I mean, even if you don't follow golf, if you just follow like travel, Hilton Head Island. I mean, this is just a nice spot. So really gorgeous course, tiny greens,
No travel.
tacticians kind of golf course. Like Stuart Sink won this last year. That's the kind of person who can win here. Like hitting the ball a country mile isn't going to do you a lot of good. You have to find the tiny greens. You have to play smart. You have to be a thinker here. And we've had some long shots. So like Satoshi Kodaira won this a few years back. He was like 250 to 1.
Ooh.
Sink was well over 100 to 1. He's the defending champion. He just played pretty okay at Augusta. He's still 100 to 1 here. So, I mean, there's going to be some long shots that come in. I know I'm just showing the top of the board to kind of show. I mean, there's like 5, 6, 7 guys here, the top 20 at Augusta, that are right at the top of the board. So there's some big names. Going to be some decisions by me to make here, but it's going to be another heavy matchup week, and probably me and Harold Varner, the third, going to battle. HV3. I saw some
Oh,
nice
I
things
like
from his
that.
second shots last week, and
That's a
this is the
great
kind of
pick for this week.
course. This is the kind of course I think he could definitely play well at. So early lean on HV3, and then because I did share this with my tennis friends and forgot about it,
I was worried we weren't going to have anything for the people today.
we do have one pick. And this number, I just did double check. This number is
Brown
still
bag bet.
available, although this has gotten steamed up a little at places that matter. I know I saw the screen flash at Bookmaker took this up to minus 119 from minus 113 a little earlier. So a little bit of steam coming. I don't think it's just me. I think the syndicates are moving on the Turkish Super League, but Super League, don't confuse us. There are two Turkish leagues that'll play today: Super League and one dot league or whatever. Like there's a lower league too. This is the top. This is the top tier of the whatever continent you think this is on. I think it's actually on both. But Antalyaspor, Hadaspor, a couple of mid-table teams. I don't see the defense today. I don't really look at the lineups here. Just kind of more of a historic how they've played, scoring chances, all that jazz, and this one's going over for me. So over 2.5. I got it at a slightly better number, but this is good at minus 115, and this starts in like 40 minutes. So if you are sad there's no NBA today, if you're sad the Masters is over, if you haven't bet any baseball yet today, hit yourself some Turkish Super League, or if you think this is a bad pick, you can bet the under. I don't care. I'm
I'm
on
going
the
to try
over.
to find some alts here.
One time I accidentally bet
3 is plus 140.
You can do the over 2.5 first half. Think this is coming home by halftime. Quadruple the stakes would be like 20 to 1.
First half over 1 is minus 125. A little juicy, but that feels like it has a high push probability.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look at their first half scoring chances and see what you have there. So, yeah, it's been a while since we bet Super League on the show, but excited about that. And then, of course, I know I gave out one once for sure. Maybe it was just on Twitter. But quick shout to the sponsors, FanDuel and Propswap, of course, Propswap, where you can, I don't know, what would be, of all the teams that are in the playoffs, I don't. Drew was saying there were Suns 20-1 tickets out there at points during the season. So
That's what I would
there's
do. Go
yeah
get yourself a
there's
Suns ticket.
go
Western
get
Conference Championship. They look like they're in great shape. Honestly, Chris Paul could take most of the playoffs off, and I think they'll be just fine. Knock on wood. We always know that Chris Paul's hamstrings are in danger of having any number of bad things happen. But, again, knock on wood, he's been healthy for most of the season, and they're the best team in the West by a little bit, especially with Luka now being less than 100% at best. So go out on Propswap. Go see what you can find there. Get yourself a Suns ticket. And now, if someone's selling that 20-1, of course, you're not going to get the 20-1, but you'll get some price probably close to market, maybe a little bit better. It usually is. And, Andy, one of the best ways to make your odds better is to cut your stake in half and get the same payout, right?
I would say so. Yep, still have that 100% deposit match. So yeah, I'm gonna go look. I haven't actually popped on, but yeah, if you could find a Suns 3-1, that's not a bad price. Market's
Yeah.
not considerably lower, but I think market consensus is 5-2 plus 260. I don't know why I used the fucking fractional odds in there for some reason. Five
Like
to
to
two,
confuse the people.
just throwing in fractions right at the end. Jesus, guys. All right, if you listen to this as a podcast, give it a good review or stars or however that works on the iTunes and
Yeah.
the Android apps. If you're watching on the YouTube, give it a thumbs up. It doesn't take much. It's just a click. If you are the people spamming the chat, Dan's about to block you. Thank you, Dan. And with that, thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Alex, for guiding me on my way in the NBA. And we'll talk some more NBA tomorrow for sure. See you guys.